About the game. Non-Stop Kingdom is a civilization board game that is played in real time. So you do not have to wait for each other and you can play continuously. The target is to make your kingdom the largest and the healthiest. The game starts and the time is running and all players are playing at the same time. One or more actions performed every minute, like goods sold or bought, armies formed and execute attacks, purchase technology, you negotiate with your other kings or for food or armies or attacking together. Are you too late? Too bad, because you lose an opportunity to perform an action. As it benefits a king, he is expected to foresight of you, and you can take an account in the plans of the other players to be successful. Non-Stop Kingdom is like chess, but only with more players, more dynamic and more fun. You estimate your opponents, you create a game strategy and execute it. Non-Stop Kingdom consists of a number of game rounds that ranges from 1 until as much as you want or until your opponent gives up. Everyone starts equal with the same size country, with the same people and the same era. The game does not use dice or playing cards, so you can only win because you are faster and smarter than your opponents. The round consists of 12 actions you beforehand have planned on the action controller. When the game round starts, the action controllers are visible for all players on the table. This allows you, to some extent, to see what other players in the round are planning to do. Let's hope you're well equipped and have made the right choices when you selected the little discs, the red, the green and yellow colors. As you see, there is a play of a game board, a technology tree, 4 action controllers, they look like a clock, 4 player aids, they are next to the action controller, and action discs. Yellow is for food, green for armies, red for transport and blue for technology. The cubes come in 2 sizes, the small one is 1 unit and the big one is 5 units. This applies both to the armies of the players, but also to the food, the catapults, and the guns and the tanks. Food has the color white, catapults has the color brown, guns has the color black, and tanks has the color grey. Each player receives 5 land tiles, the green hexagons, to start with. The tiles between the countries are trade route tiles that connect 2 cooperate nations and thereby make the use of transport action discs between them obsolete. This option can only be used later in the game, since the trade routes tiles have to be bought. On each land tile live a standard population of 5 people. This will rise when one goes into the next era. We will explain some moves now. Now the 12 action discs are in the middle of each action controller, so everybody can choose at the last minute. Player 1, 3 and 4 have selected a yellow action disc, which means food, and they will receive the white food cubes. While second player 2 chooses a green action disc and receives 2 blue army cubes. We are now 3 moves further and see that player 1, 4 now have 6 units received for the food. 1 big, meaning 5, and 1 small, meaning 1. Player 2 now has 6 army units, also a big and a small size cube, and player 3 has now 4 food units and 2 army units. Next move. Player 2 plays the red action disc and attacks player 3. Each red disc represents 2 movements. 3 times 2 means 6 land tiles. Within 5 movements he is already on the land tile of player 3. There are 4 armies and they will lose because player 2 has 5 armies. With the remaining movements he can move the country tile 1 position in the direction of his own country. By immediately using 2 more red transport discs he can add the conquered land to his own kingdom. 4. The other players have sold their food for 10,000 per unit. While player 2 celebrates his victory, player 1 sees a chance to conquer a land tile from player 2. By his attack he is weakened now and therefore vulnerable. Player 1 has a green disc and 2 red, just enough to capture a tile from player 2. All the players are still in the Stone Age, where a country tile has 5 inhabitants. The power of the people, of the inhabitants, is half that of an army unit, and we round up. So this means 5 divided by 2 equals 3 army units. But still it's not enough, because player 1 has 4 armies. Using the red discs he attacks and captures 1 land tile, but he has not enough to completely return the land tile to his kingdom. 6. At the end of the round, the army units on the board must be paid for their service. This is done with food units. For each military you have to pay 1 food unit. Do you not have the food, then perhaps you can borrow it from a friendly kingdom. The army units that cannot be afforded have to leave the board. You can also do investments. The player who have earned money by selling food invest in increasing or making more effective use of the action discs. We can see that player 1 has invested in faster food production from 2 to 3 and to increase operational military making of units, also from 1 to 2. Player 2 has no money and cannot invest, or he would have to borrow from a friendly kingdom, but now a friend could be an enemy later. Player 3 invests in a faster and better technology. This will double the production, but before he can have the advantage, he must build a factory. Player 4 invests just like player 1 in food and in armies. These investments are made and can be made at any time, which is a pretty smart thing to do. For the purpose of explanation, we have done this on the end of this instruction video. Who's going to win? We will never see that, I'm afraid.